there's a huge shift over to hydroponics and aquaponics, and it is going to be really important with all the challenges we're going to face around climate and food security and being able to produce food where people are and all this type of thing. And the one thing I see as a huge problem is where the nutrients come from for hydroponics, or where the feed...
And where they're going.
Well, and where they're going as well.
Going into.
But then also where the food comes from for the fish. So actually, it seems to me that with all the nutrients and everything the worms produce, there's the opportunity to create this kind of closed system to not only deal with the waste coming out, because you still get a lot of waste from it, you still get all the roots and all the any that die off or whatever else that you want to get rid of, any packaging and all that type of stuff you can probably get rid of as well. So you can reuse that, but then use the produce and maybe work with local communities or shops or whatever to kind of take food waste off them and help support the farm and create that kind of smaller community. But then if you're able to take the nutrients from them and put them into a hydroponic system, then you know exactly where those nutrients are coming from. Alternatively, with fish, you can feed the fish.
You can feed the fish.
Yeah.
So and it's keeping costs down again.
Yeah.
If you're paying for fertiliser, there's just no need. I don't see any. There's no need to be paying for fertiliser. All the resources are around us to produce our own.
So is this something that's being done a lot, or is it not? Is it kind of in its
So
early
the term is so obviously
stages?
aquaponics. You can obviously feed.
Oh yeah, we should probably say so. Hydroponics is basically vegetables or fruit, even some trees growing in water.
In water.
Aquaponics is basically the same thing, except you have fish. Instead of introducing nutrients to the system. You introduce fish feed. Which feeds the fish and they poo, and that creates the nutrients that go around. So you're producing protein as well.
That's it. And then there's vermiponics, which is using worm manure to fertilise the water.
Okay.
So and that was coined. I can't remember the name of the guy, but in Australia, a guy in Australia coined the term, and it's being used quite a lot in Australia. But I haven't really seen it anywhere else. I worked with a company called Urban Catch, and we had some funding from the Department of Agriculture, I think, and we trialled vermiponics, and it was successful. I think there was 33% growth with using worm manure.
Was that over in compared to normal hydroponics or aquaponics?
Yes, with hydroponics.
So it's 33%.
Yeah, 33%.
33%. God. That's interesting.
And obviously, they made the worm manure themselves from the waste from their older system. So it's huge potential. There's waste everywhere. Agricultural waste.
And the thing is, as well, these systems are often cited as closed loop, but they're not because you're having this input. And okay, you're still going to have an input of food waste or whatever else going in to feed the worms, but it's one more step towards making it truly self-sufficient and closed loop.
Absolutely. We don't need to be buying in fertiliser. That's one thing that we can nail. It's perfectly feasible.
I also wanted to firstly, I have another question about this hydroponics, aquaponics, vermiponics. So how does it actually work? So what do you put in? Because I always assumed it would be kind of your wormy.
So there's two different ways to do it. Yeah. You can do it with the leachate, so the juice that comes out of the worm farm. Obviously, have to check, look under a microscope and check that that's obviously good quality. Or you can put a tea bag in the water, so the microorganisms are brewing in the system.
Yeah. Right, because I was wondering how you use the compost for it.
Yeah, so you'd have it in a bag and let it brew.
That's interesting. So I'm really interested in this because I really want to try and set something up.
Yeah. Because it's the microorganism poo, which is the actual fertiliser, so they excrete all the nutrients. So
cool.
It's a closed loop system with bacteria and fungi and protozoa and nematodes. It's their manure that is the fertiliser as well.
That's it.
So when we're killing all of this with our insecticides and things, it's that's why we then become dependent on using other things that run off and don't stay in the ground. So this is it's the worm way. So it's just
that's it.
It's the solution for everything.